I think the most crucial thing in the first round or first 2 rounds is whether Arguello can use his great ability as a body puncher, and many people think he's one of the greatest body punchers there ever was, to slow up the charge of Aaron Pryor.
Aaron Pryor has been known to charge out at the opening bell. Round 1. Pryor with the first punch. He scores with a right hand. Up tempo right from the opening bell.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if someone gets knocked down in the first round.
Pryor, perpetual motion. He is right on top of Arguello, who gets off the ropes. Crowd already starting to cheer. Arguello with a right hand that scores on Pryor, whose legs buckle for a moment.
Pryor seems to be hurt. Alex went to the body and was able to hurt Pryor for a while.
Which is exactly what Larry Merchant was just mentioning.
Those uppercuts by Alex and that overhand right is very effective in Pryor's style.
Pryor is now slowed down just for the moment. Pryor has been knocked down. He will say, yes, I'll get knocked down and take a count of 1, 2, or 3, but my opponent will get knocked down and take a count of 8, 9, or 10, and that has been the story. First round, uppercut, the right hand, and another left hand. Arguello against the ropes. A lot of action for the first round of a 15-round fight.
Both fighters are a little tight.
A right hand by Arguello.
This is the first time that I ever seen Alex go at this pace in the early round.
There's a right hand by Pryor, and Arguello is hurt. Well, so far the fight has been exactly as advertised. There's another right hand by Pryor, and another right hand, and another. And Arguello gets off the ropes.
Alex is hurt seriously now.
Arguello is letting Pryor fight his fight. And another right hand, and Arguello back to the ropes again. Arguello unable to keep Pryor off him early on.
Alex's legs,
key.
He started to buckle, Barrett. If Pryor can hop right on him now, he should be able to put Alex down. But he can't get too careless because Alex is a great champion.
The other thing that I can't help but wonder is the bell here is not very loud, and this crowd is a din. That could be a factor because neither one of these fighters may hear the bell. Really puts the pressure on the referee. This is still the first round, remember.
You know, both fighters a little arm-weary in the very first round because they started off very fast at the beginning of the first round.
Well, there weren't too many who expected this fight to go the distance, rather. A left hand by Pryor again. And at this pace, there is simply no way that it can. A combination by Pryor. And an uppercut. End of the round, and what a first. Another factor also is the fact that Pryor often misses shots. He did not miss many punches in that first round, and he scores his first 3 of this one. An uppercut sends Arguello reeling backward.
You see, Pryor is also much physically stronger than the other fighters that Alex has been in the ring with. And that left jab of Pryor is getting through.
Pryor is very sharp with his punches. Not only a lot of them, but very effective.
But both fighters are missing some shots, like those overhand rights. If either punch lands from either fighter, someone has to go down.
Both men were hurt in the first round. Pryor early, but Arguello got much the worst of it. And again, Pryor getting off before Arguello. Arguello, a professional, and that is the thing that is constant. When you hear anybody talk about Alexis Arguello, they say he's the consummate professional.
Well, see, Pryor always punches himself out unnecessarily. He burned a lot of energy up. And another thing he must keep in mind, he can't stand straight up. That left hook by Arguello just landed. Pryor can't afford to stand straight up because Arguello gets very good leverage. But inside, it should be Aaron Pryor all the way.
That time, Arguello got a right-hand counter punch off, and Pryor is hurt.
Now, see, you'll see Arguello, because Pryor was dazed from that overhand right.
Pryor talking to Arguello now. Pryor draws a warning for hooking. That punch by Arguello was just a case of his man making a mistake and Arguello countering the mistake, and that's what he says. His theory is all I have to do is throw 2 or 3 punches in the round, but they've got to be good and they've got to hurt.
He's such a composed fighter. Arguello is such a composed fighter. He's been rocked by Pryor, but see, Pryor's mistake and bad habits, the fact he burnt his stamina is not as great as it should be. Although he punches very, very hard for his division.
Well, this fight so far is exactly as all the promotional releases have said. That's a rarity. I've seen it a couple of times, once in your fight with Tommy Hearns, but it is rare that a fight lives up to the press clippings. So far, this one has, albeit it is early. Arguello fighting off the ropes and fighting very effectively off the ropes. Arguello got the better of that exchange. But Pryor is still right on Arguello. And Arguello does seem content to have his back against the ropes and have Pryor lean on him. This is just the second round. Neither man is marked. End of the second round.
Panama Lewis wants Pryor to move his head more and move his body more and not come in quite so straight to Arguello.
Well, he can't afford to, Larry, because, again, Alex gets such good leverage behind his punches, and his punch is so accurate. Pryor has to be very careful.
Both fighters headhunting early on here. Arguello oftentimes likes to go to the body. He's not done that against Pryor. Of course, it's tough against a shorter man who's all over you. That was just a push for which Pryor draws a bit of a warning.
But Pryor must, I feel, Barry, he must get Arguello out of there in the early rounds, because the late rounds will definitely belong to Alex.
There was a right hand by Arguello. It did not faze Aaron Pryor, who came back with a left hand of his own. Again, you can't emphasize enough, the crowd is very much pro-Arguello, so when Arguello scores, you're going to hear it a lot more.
Every time Pryor waits, sits and waits, Arguello comes with that uppercut and overhand right. And the same goes for Arguello. If he waits, Pryor comes on strong.
The left jab in the face of Pryor thrown by Alexis Arguello. Pryor fighting a little bit more at long range this round.
He's telegraphing, he's reaching. Aaron Pryor's starting to reach now. And it's very, very bad, habit against a guy of Arguello's caliber.
Arguello took a right hand from Pryor, mostly on the gloves, but it still forced him back into the ropes. Arguello straight right hand, or rather Pryor a straight right hand, and I believe I see some blood from under the eye. And he took another shot right there.
Although Pryor's landing very well, he's still he has a bad habit of coming straight in with his chin up.
It is just a swelling and not a bleeding under the eye.
See what happened? The right hand, Arguello was able to catch Pryor with that overhand right because Pryor's straight up in front of him. And now I sense fatigue in Aaron Pryor. And you'll see Arguello just take control.
And this is only the third round, and that short right hand, that was the punch that put Kevin Rooney away. He is not in there with Kevin Rooney tonight, but it was a good chopping right hand.
I really believe that
Pryor's starting to get a little arm room. And Pryor playing with Alexis Arguello here for a moment. I can't imagine really that Pryor could be armed, although he was fighting like it for just a moment there. There's a right hand by Arguello.
Well, Pryor has this funny way of throwing a lot of punches, then all of a sudden he plays around and gets his rest, his second win.
That was not a damaging punch by Arguello. Pryor backs off.
Those body shots of Arguello's taking a toll.
End of the round, end of round 3. Arguello off the stool and into the center of the ring. Arguello's corner, Eddie Futch telling him, don't wait on it.
Exactly, that was the problem first with Arguello. He was waiting on Pryor, and Pryor shouldn't do the same. He shouldn't wait on Alex.
Pryor missed that uppercut and the right hand.
I can't see this fight going over past 10 rounds, but the pace these guys have set from the very first round, and the big blows they're starting to land.
Combination by Pryor. good right hand from Pryor, and Pryor now putting on the pressure on the ropes. It was only the right hand, though, that scored.
The combinations to watch from Alex Arguello is that left uppercut and overhand right, which has been very effective for Aaron Pryor any particular punch because he's very strong and carries a good punch in both hands.
And the jab now of Arguello starting to tick off the face of Aaron Pryor. It's not damaging, but again, it's one of those things that over a period of time can wear a man down. That right hand caught Arguello in the gloves, but he did score with an uppercut and another left hand. Arguello back to the right hand of his own. I don't believe Pryor's hurt. I think he was feigning injury there. I do not believe he was hurt by that.
You know, Arguello threw some body shots in that third round, and I felt they were effective against Aaron Pryor. See, Pryor cannot do this, Barry. He can't back up. Arguello gets too much leverage, and it presses his reach that he has.
Arguello is marked with a swelling under the eye. It does not appear to be appreciably worse in this round. Pryor is unmarked. That was mostly on the gloves.
These guys has been in tremendous shape because they've both been landing big punches.
Counter punch with the left hand by Arguello. And Pryor with a left hand of his own.
Aaron Pryor can throw punches from all angles. You notice the way he bobs and weaves, throws it with the left hand, the right hand. He's capable of throwing punches from all angles.
He becomes very difficult to hit, too, just with that head roll that he has. He just makes a very tough target. That was an overhand right at the bell.
Great champion's thoughts. You wonder what's going on inside that great old fighting head.
The left hook by Arguello. Panama Lewis telling Pryor to double jab and come with the right. Another right hand by Arguello.
I'm sure the way things look now, Alex Arguello was instructed to pick the pace up and not to fall asleep on Pryor. Pryor, on the other hand, was told, work that left jab, get inside.
I would tend to agree with Larry. I don't really think there is any arm weariness on the part of Pryor. Both of them really seem to have their legs under them, too, and that, of course, is the real telltale.
Well, they both now look really alert.
Straight left-hand jab, although Pryor has not doubled up on the jab as his corner exhorted him to do. There he did, a double jab and a right hand.
Pryor still making the mistake of falling in with his chin. And every time he do that, he's going to be tagged with an overhand right.
Arguello fighting as though he is fighting a controlled fight, trying to pace himself a little bit. Pryor, of course, has been the aggressor from the opening bell.
Well, Arguello, the way he's fighting now, he's concentrating. He's trying to figure out what should be more effective. You'll notice he'll go to the body on Pryor with that left uppercut.
Looks like Arguello is almost trying to measure Aaron Pryor. He's not fighting at long range, but by the same token, he's trying not to let Pryor get on top of him.
Well, also, Barry, you see he'll start going low with his punches. Arguello will start throwing punches under.
There was a good left hook by Arguello, but it did not hurt Pryor, who smiles back at him and takes the right hand from Arguello.
Watch the right hand by Arguello. If he has time to set it up. But Pryor is in there.
That missed.
Right, back.
Referee Stanley Christodoulou breaking the two.
Every time Arguello tries to set Pryor for a combination, Pryor has the ability to throw his rhythm off, because he comes back with a series of his combinations.
Pryor rarely will throw one punch, all in combinations, and that's the way it says. Right hand by Arguello. Pryor's not hurt, backs away from it. Pryor sticks a jab in the face of Arguello.
And see, Arguello can't deal with a boxer. He has trouble with all boxers. And Pryor's doing the right thing now. Side to side.
At the bell. Pryor again rushing off the stool at Alexis Arguello. Arguello being told to keep the jab in his face. Swelling does not really look to be very much worse than it was when it happened in the second round.
You see Pryor's back to boxing again. I think he realized that it gives Arguello trouble. Lateral movement, sticking left jab out, changing direction with the right hand. But he can't leave that left jab out too long. He can't float his punches.
A long right hand. Pryor looks all business here.
Well, he's very serious, Barry. In fact, both fighters are very serious.
This fight had all the billings, of course. Brawler, boxer, good versus evil. What it all comes down to is two guys in an 18-foot square.
What Aaron Pryor needs to do now, because he's doing the same thing over, he's too repetitious in his style and his tactics. He needs to feint a little bit more.
That was a little bit short. And that was not. That hurt Arguello. Arguello holds on here as Pryor forces the attack.
That was a good right hand. That was a cut over Arguello's left eye, just above it.
Now that could be a factor. That is in the area where the blood could get in the eye. So the cut alongside the left eye, and it's being looked at by Stanley Christodoulou, who says box on.
Again, I don't see this fight going on 10 rounds. These guys throwing too much leather, and it's going to take his toll. It has to.
That cut is alongside the eye, I believe, of Alexis Arguello, not above the eye. That right hand did not hurt Pryor.
Pryor's making the mistake of letting that left jab float.
That cut is actually above the left eye of Arguello, not alongside it, right? Above the eye, toward the right side of the eye. Pryor is trying to work on that as much as he can. And a good right hand by Pryor. And the blood showing all around the eye of Arguello now. That's going to give him a lot of trouble. Arguello has been stopped on cuts once before. In his first loss, as a matter of fact.
That could be a very, very significant cut. Let's see if we can detect when that cut happened. Here's an exchange midway through the round. A clean right hand alongside the left side of Arguello's face, and that could have been where the cut was formed. No, we don't see it as yet, but there we see a four-punch combination get through. Now we see the corner of Arguello working on that cut. And you can be sure that Pryor will work on it as well.
Hay que tirar flaco. ¿Okay? Coge aire, ¿cómo te sientes? ¿Bien? Bien. Bien. Usted primero, tienes que hacer combinación. No lo dejes con confianza, ¿ok? No lo dejes con confianza. Tú tienes que iniciar rally de 4 o 5 rounds. Tú abres con el jab. Y termina con 4 o 5 golpes. No esperes por él.
Well, the cut is a pretty nasty cut, and now I can't help but wonder if Arguello is not going to have to take the offense here.
Well, unfortunately, Barry didn't have a chance to stop the bleeding. And Aaron Pryor's going to hop right back on him.
Pryor has picked up the pace here without question.
That lead-off right of Aaron Pryor is confusing Arguello, because Pryor moved one way, then he stopped and released that overhand right and go the opposite way.
He's not letting Alexis Arguello get his punches off. The bleeding is not very bad right at the moment. The swelling is still under the eye as well.
it's really impressive to see Aaron Pryor as a boxer.
Pryor still pressing the action here. Has definitely picked up the tempo. As he knows his man's in trouble. An uppercut, and he right back with the left hand.
That was a beautiful combination.
Right at the moment, Aaron Pryor is in control of this fight.
You'll see Aaron Pryor come under with his punches. He throws the overhand right, then follows that right hand with the straight left jab.
Arguello continuing to try to work on the eye, and it is bleeding again. There was a good right hand right on the eye.
Arguello wants to get closer. All he's doing now is stalking Pryor, trying to get close to him, trying to measure him, trying to time him for some particular punch.
Bleeding is not appreciably worse here, as Arguello's corner actually did a pretty good job of that. He's taken a couple of punches on it, and it is bleeding a little bit, but it's not bleeding profusely.
Well, the tables can be turned around if Arguello just picked the pace up now, because Pryor has slowed down tremendously than he did earlier.
And that swelling under the eye is getting a little bit worse on Arguello as well. Arguello right at the moment, again, does not seem to have a lot of sting in his punches either.
Well, he's fighting a bigger man, too.
And there's the right hand, and that might have hurt Pryor. Arguello trying to follow it up, scores with another left hand, but Pryor not stepping back. Pryor does not seem hurt.
But Pryor fights harder when he's hurt, as a matter of fact. Because that left hook and that right hand by Arguello was a good, solid punch.
Panama Lewis saying, don't fight his fight, fight your fight. He also said he's a blind fighter. I'm not sure that that's completely accurate. Pryor trying to pick it up here.
You see there, Aaron Pryor gave a feint. It was very effective.
Arguello still seemingly waiting for an opportunity against Pryor here. Pryor continues to work on the eye. Takes a left hand, but doesn't step back.
But Pryor can't make too many of those mistakes. He has a very bad habit of just walking away from his opponent. And with a fight like Arguello, you can't do that.
Crowd really into this fight, as you can hear. Very much in support of Alexis Arguello, who takes the combination from Aaron Pryor.
I like the way Pryor's utilizing the whole ring. I mean, he's walking, he's stepping side to side, back and forth. The only thing I dislike is the way he keeps his hand. He floats his punches out, especially that left jab. He's vulnerable for an overhand right.
He is showing another whole side of him, though. He has not been completely the brawler in this fight. And he's fighting a very intelligent fight. And a combination scores again. Doesn't hurt Arguello, but nonetheless. For the moment, that cut over Arguello's eye is closed.
Very few men can stand in the ring with Aaron Pryor. Pryor should change directions now. He's going the same direction, and Arguello's going to find him out.
A right hand missed. Referee Stanley Christodoulou warning Arguello, and between rounds, Panama Lewis went over to Christodoulou and said, tell him to keep his punches up. And Pryor trying to paw at the eye of Arguello.
Watch what happens when Arguello goes to Aaron Pryor's body and then comes back with his head. Overhand right.
Under 30 seconds remaining in the 8th round. And Arguello going downstairs and coming upstairs, just as you mentioned, Ray. a warning for low blows. Arguello is starting to time Pryor a little bit better at the end of the 8th round. Might have been starting to solve Pryor just a little bit.
Probably because Pryor was floating up a little bit.
Round 9.
As long as Aaron Pryor is able to maintain his pace, it'd be quite difficult for Arguello to figure him out. But once he slows down, Arguello comes on strong, gains momentum, and start working that body and up and back to the head.
Panama Lewis between rounds said to Aaron Pryor, when you get inside, duke him out.
Well, Panama wants Pryor inside to stay there, not to come out back outside. Inside, Pryor's able to get those little short uppercuts.
Pryor is inside now. Takes the right hand from Arguello.
You see it happens every time. Every time Pryor steps out, his hands are down, and Arguello lands. He connects with punches.
Crowd comes alive now for Alexis Arguello. Pryor fighting away from Cincinnati. Does not feel he's really being accepted by his hometown fans in Cincinnati, although he has no intention of moving. Thought about it for a while, worked out in New York, lived with a friend in New York. That was back when he couldn't get fights.
I feel Pryor at this point now, Pryor would do better by boxing. Lateral movement. But he has to be doing something because it's difficult for Arguello to figure him out.
Neither man has been down, and that will surprise a lot of ringside observers, myself included.
Now Pryor should get out of the corner and stay away from the ropes.
There's a right hand that causes Pryor to take a step back. And another right hand by Arguello, but as you mentioned, right, Pryor always comes right back after a punch.
After a big punch, Pryor comes right back. But the mistake he's making, Barry, he's stopping, he's slowing down. And Arguello underhand with that uppercut and an overhand right.
And that cut over Arguello's eye has not been bleeding for the last 2 rounds.
Pryor standing too straight up. He's too erect for a fight of Arguello's caliber.
There was a right hand by Arguello again, and Pryor now holds on for a moment.
Someone may go down this round. If these guys stand toe-to-toe, someone will go down, I feel.
And a combination, 3-punch combination by Pryor, who's now right on top of Arguello. Arguello stays right there and misses 2 shots of his own. Pryor lunges in with a right hand that's over the head of Arguello.
Well, fortunately for both fighters, there's just a few seconds remaining.
That was the second good round in a row for Arguello.
And that cut has not been a problem for him over the last couple rounds. There is the swelling under the eye, which does appear to be getting a little bit worse, but not in a position, at least at the moment, of causing him any problem. We talked earlier in the Howard Davis fight that maybe Howard Davis is not hungry enough. That is certainly not the case with Aaron Pryor, who still feels he owes something from the Olympic Games in 1976. He was the favorite to win the lightweight championship in the Olympic Games, and he was beaten twice on split decisions, close decisions, by Howard Davis. Howard Davis fought for $250,000 in his first professional fight. Aaron Pryor fought for $400. He's been a hungry fighter ever since. And this is his biggest payday.
I really felt that this fight wouldn't go beyond 10 rounds. But I have to say, I'm very impressed with both fighters because they're showing championship quality here.
Now you cut that out, I'll send you away from the corner yet.
Stanley Christodoulou warning Panama Lewis for coaching. And warning him very vehemently. Larry Merchant has been scoring this fight. We'll talk a little bit toward the end of this round about just how Larry has it up to this point.
I sense that
uppercut by Arguello.
It's kind of rock Pryor. The scene here with these two guys going at it. I look at the way I fought Tommy Hearns. If this fight should end anytime, it's just a matter of who has the most heart.
And neither of these fighters has ever been won for heart. Right now, the fight does not have a real rhythm. Nobody is in control right at the moment. It looked for a while as though Aaron Pryor would gain control, but he hasn't.
Pryor was able to sneak right hand and follow that good left hook in. But some of the sting has gone from both fighters' punches.
Right hand by Arguello made Pryor blink, and now there is a little bit of blood showing under the eye of Alexis Arguello. And the blood above the eye has not really shown. Pryor showing that sort of quasi-bolo punch that he says Sugar Ray Leonard stole from him.
I stole from him.
There's a right hand by Arguello. And a right hand by Pryor. End of the 10th.
I still have Pryor very, very slightly ahead in this fight. 5-4-1.
Coming to the 11th round, so it's an either-way proposition as Larry Merchant sees it. All fights have an ebb and flow. I'm not sure this one really has. Pryor is the only one who at any time has shown like he was starting to dictate the tempo, but really that was for a short period of time. Other than that, it has been give and take. Good combination by Pryor. And Pryor right back on top of Arguello. The blood for the moment has stopped.
Well, you know, they always respected Alex Arguello's punching talent, skills, and now I'm quite sure they're going to appreciate and respect Aaron Pryor because he's displayed so much versatility in this ring.
All right, cut it out. That's enough.
Stanley Christodoulou continuing to talk to Pryor's corner. Pryor trying to work on the eye. There is no blood showing right at the moment. There's a right hand by Arguello. And Pryor backs up for the moment. And another right hand by Arguello. Pryor does not seem to be hurt. Arguello being very patient. He has not thought himself, I don't think, that he's hurt Pryor, because he has not really come after it.
As long as Aaron Pryor stands there for a while, then moves, you notice Arguello can't get set.
Pryor back with a combination of his own. Blood still is stopped.
Now Pryor should walk away at this point here. Or at least he's got away from the ropes. Smart thing to do.
Both men at this point look highly capable of going 15 rounds should it become necessary.
Arguello's trying to pick the pace up now.
Arguello misses a wild right hand. Arguello's not missed a lot of punches. He's been thrifty with his punches. There's a hard right hand by Arguello, but Pryor did not take one step back. Tough kid.
Those were some devastating punches by Alex Arguello. Some of this team has left Arguello, because if not, I feel Pryor would have been down.
Pryor coming back with an attack of his own. Takes two more from Arguello. Pryor does not seem hurt. Combination by Arguello again. The uppercut and the overhand right. Back with another overhand right. Pryor smiles at him at the bell.
I have no idea why Aaron Pryor wanted any more of those shots. There's a straight right hand earlier in the round. It was later in the round that Arguello landed 3 or 4 of those, and let's take a look at them. A body shot followed by a right hand, under and over. That is a sign of a very great fighter.
both the thrower and the throwee.
Big, pull in side to side. All right? Let go. Hold it here.
At the mouthpiece.
From here out, it's
Let's
just
go, baby. Let's go.
conditioning and will.
All right?
As you see it now, the fight's dead even.
It's just about dead even, yes.
And the pace picking up considerably. Pryor off the stool and right in Alexis Arguello's lap.
This fight is incredible. I mean, both men are throwing bombs the whole time.
Just make you glad you made the decision you made.
I'm so happy I retired.
Pryor trying to go to the body. Left hand by Pryor. The eye of Arguello seems to be no worse over the last 3 rounds.
Well, Aaron Pryor definitely needs to keep that pace going. As long as he slows down and falls asleep, Arguello is going to continue to connect with some beautiful combinations like he did the last round.
Pryor has been stepping up the pace a little bit in this round. Pryor with a combination. Arguello wobbles for a moment. Goes back against the ropes. I think that might have hurt him. And Arguello with a right hand. Pryor's legs wobble for a minute. Give and take from the very first round.
Unbelievable, bro. These guys, I just can't, I can't picture anyone being able to take those punches.
Both these fighters in superb condition. Excellent fight. Uppercut by Arguello. That right hand missed. A right hand by Pryor, right on the eye of Arguello.
Arguello is now he's doubling that right hand up. He goes to the body with it and comes back up to the head. He's changed up completely with that overhand right.
Pryor lunges with that right, and Arguello missed the uppercut.
Arguello is going to the body. Aaron Pryor should go to the body. With the fight at this pace, those body shots really take its toll.
The right hand was caught in the glove by Pryor. The left scored, the right on the glove. A little bit of blood showing once more from the eye of Arguello, but it is not any more of a problem now than it was 4 rounds ago. There's a right hand uppercut that caught Pryor leaning in, but again, he didn't hurt him. And Pryor continues to work on the eye of Arguello. And another good right hand and a left hand. Pryor now had Arguello grabbing for a moment. Now the bell did ring. As we mentioned, this bell is not very loud. Now Pryor up off the stool. Incidentally, that was the first time between their rounds that I've seen Aaron Pryor draw a deep breath. Pryor forces the attack. This is the 13th round. It is still anybody's guess. Toe to toe. Nobody really doing much damage, but toe-to-toe slugging.
Barry, notice Arguello's way he throws his left hand. I believe something's wrong with it. He's hitting open glove now.
There's a right hand by Pryor. Opens up Arguello for the moment. Pryor leaning into his man now. There's a right hand by Arguello and a left hand back. And Pryor seems to be just a step slow right now.
Well, you look at the way that Arguello is delivering those body shots.
I believe a little bit of the starch has gone out of Aaron Pryor's legs.
Pryor must have really trained for this fight. He's showing so much stamina here and endurance.
Well, there always was some question as to just how much he did train for a fight. In this case, I don't think there's any question at all, win or lose.
Well, he's really thinking also.
There's a right hand, snaps the head back, and Pryor is hurt. That was the best punch of the fight. laid right on the button. That was like target practice.
That was a beautiful right hand.
I mean, I just don't know how anybody else could stand up against that punch.
Come
Pryor
back
comes
like
right
Pryor's
back.
doing.
The punch a little bit low by Arguello, and it really just caught Pryor out of position.
Pryor needs to get back inside. It's too dangerous on the outside.
Pryor is throwing his punches a little bit. He's lunging a little bit now. I don't know that he's particularly physically tired, but I think his legs are a little bit shot.
Oh, yes, he's taking some good shots. But again, Barry, you have to appreciate this man's in tip-top shape because Arguello has thrown some right hands that would have knocked out anyone. And Pryor also has landed some big punches on Arguello's chin that should have taken any man out.
Arguello still trying to work, or rather Pryor trying to work on the eye of Arguello. It's still swollen, and a little bit of blood shows underneath the eye, but not so much above it. That was where it could cause him more problems. There's a good right hand by Pryor. Another tremendous round.
You're just seeing two championship stallions come down the home stretch here, and they're just going head to head. Let's take a look and see that hand. There it is. Whack, batting practice. And where Aaron Pryor gets that reservoir of strength and spirit, it just seems as deep as the Ohio River.
Give me that ball. The one I mix. Okay? Come on. Come on. Okay, win these 2 rounds, champ. All right, wait a minute. Here,
One more time from another angle, and it'll hurt just as much.
But you can appreciate from this angle here, his snap back.
Got to punch back. Win these 2 last rounds. 6 minutes. You can fight for 6 minutes. We go all day in the gym. We go all day in the gym, all right? You work hard now, come on.
Panama Lou is telling Aaron Pryor that he had to win these next 2 rounds. I'm not sure that that's completely accurate, but I would think it would be a pretty good idea. Aaron Pryor now in Never Never Land for him. He has never gone into the 14th round of any fight. Combination by Pryor. And a left hand snaps the head of Arguello back. Arguello is wobbling, breathing through his mouth. Pryor being patient. Right hand. That's one of those, here it comes, and it's still scoring. Pryor a left jab and a combination again. And Arguello's in trouble. Arguello in big trouble against the ropes. Pryor going for the kill, trying to put him away. Arguello trying to cover up. A smashing right hand. Arguello's helpless against the ropes. Arguello's hands at his side. It's over. Aaron Pryor has retained his junior welterweight championship. Arguello slips to the canvas. What a victory for Aaron Pryor.
Incredible, Barry.